Welcome to 700 Credits video series. This video focuses on having a compliant adverse action program in place. Some dealers ask why they need to provide adverse action letters since their financial institution provides them. It's the law. The theory that I don't have to send adverse action letters because my lenders do is false. You're required to provide one because you're considered an arranger of credit and a participator in the credit decision. It can be very costly if you do not provide them when required. $3,500, $16,000, up to $10,000. These are per violation in the instances listed here. Don't take the chance. Provide adverse action letters when required. So when does an adverse action take place? When credit is denied, credit is not submitted to lenders for financing because you determine they will not qualify, or a consumer does not accept your counteroffer. Here is a sample of 700 Credits adverse action letter. It contains all information required by law. There are multiple ways to provide an adverse action letter to a consumer. We automatically mark each applicant to receive a letter. You upload a list of applicants that bought a vehicle. Any matches are unchecked and the remaining applicants receive a letter. We automatically mark every applicant and the dealer can manually uncheck applicants where no adverse occurred. Another option is to send a letter to applicants below a specific credit score that you determine, or you can manually select the applicants to receive the letter. We can also mail to any applicant that did not have an adverse action letter printed at your dealership. We suggest any letters printed at your dealership be signed by the applicant. Make a copy of the signed letter and place it in your deal jacket. This is your proof the letter was delivered. Any letters mailed through 700 Credits Mailhouse will be retained indefinitely. There is a minimum of 14 days after a credit report is pulled before the adverse action letter will be mailed by 700 Credits Mailhouse. This allows you time to make changes. Here's more detail on the auto sold upload option. When you pull a credit report, the applicant is immediately marked to receive an adverse action letter. You create a CSV file of consumers you sold a vehicle to or those you do not want to receive a letter. From 700 Dealers applicant list, you upload the file. Applicants marked to receive a letter that match a name in your file will be deselected. Letters are then mailed to the remaining marked applicants. There are a few ways to manually select the applicants to receive an adverse action letter or deselect them. From the compliance dashboard, you can view the adverse action letter program monitor and select the View Edit button or number in red. You can also access the Mailhouse queue from the Compliance tab or Applicant List tab. You are now in the Mailhouse queue. To select an applicant to be mailed an adverse action letter, select the box in the AA column next to their name. If an applicant has the AA box checked and you do not want them to receive an adverse action letter, click on the AA box and it will remove the check mark and the applicant will not be mailed a letter. You save your changes by selecting a Save button in the bottom right corner of the screen. You can print an adverse action letter by locating the applicant from the Applicant List tab. Select Letter from the Action column. From the pop-up return, select Adverse Action from the drop-down menu, then Submit. Another way to print is from the Mailhouse queue. Select the AA box next to the applicant. This will check the box. Next, select the Print button to the far right. The adverse action letter is returned. Print the letter by selecting the printer icon in the top right corner. 700 Credit knows you printed the letter by using the icon. If you print by completing a screen print or copy and paste, the system will not acknowledge the letter was printed, and the dashboard will still show an applicant with no letter delivered. An important component of an adverse action program is that you monitor and audit you are in compliance. You can easily do this by viewing the 700 Credit dashboard. There is a section specific to adverse action letters. The Adverse Actions section shows you the total applicants, letters already mailed, letters in the queue to be mailed, letters you printed at your dealership, applicants with no letter delivered, and the total number of adverse action letters delivered or scheduled. Select the View Edit button or the underlined number in red. Depending on which you choose, you'll receive a list of applicants either marked to be mailed a letter or those not receiving a letter. Take the appropriate steps to print letters, select or deselect applicants as needed. Another important component of compliance is the ability to provide reports. This report is accessible from the Compliance dashboard. Select the Adverse Action Letter Detail Report in the left margin. The report lists all applicants for a defined period of time and dates the notice was printed, mailed, or dates scheduled to be mailed. If an applicant did not receive an adverse action letter or is not scheduled to be mailed one, the applicant's name will be listed on the report with no date in any column. You can print this report or export to Excel or a PDF. To be in compliance, you must have a written document on site available to all employees stating your policies and procedures regarding adverse action. It should include the systems you pull reports from and what determines an adverse action occurred, how letters will be generated, and who is responsible to deliver them. The document also needs to include a senior management member that is responsible for the overall program, information on how it will be monitored, audited, and how reporting and training occurs to ensure compliance and delivery of a letter to all applicants that experienced an adverse action.